This episode is brought to you by Red Riding Hood, the manga-inspired take on the classic fairy tale for readers grades K through 2, written by Christina Oxtra. In Red Riding Hood, readers review the classic story in a brand new way, with twists in the story, more diverse characters, and featuring Japanese aesthetics incorporated throughout. Red Riding Hood is part of a series published by Capstone and written by various artists with unique takes on your childhood favorites. Look out for Red Riding Hood, available on Amazon and your local bookstores. Congratulations, Christina, on your first published book. The link is in the show description.
Once again, PS Crossroads is off to a phenomenal start. So, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the Crossroads PlayStation Podcast, the Crossroads Podcast, the PlayStation voice of Boss Rush Games. I am your host, LeRon Dawkins here, and I'm joined by the one, the only, Nellie.
Cheers.
And also joining us, you love him. From LAN Party, it's Logan.
I didn't bring my lotion this week, guys. I'm sorry.
Thank you. We
brought sandpaper this week. He hates that Xbox Bethesda so much, he brought a sandpaper this week.
He's
gonna torture himself.
Speaking of loving things, like we love this guy so much, he is now a permanent member of the panel. Welcome, everybody. Austin, what's up?
What's up, people?
All right, so how's everybody's week been? Are we still salty about things? I'm still salty about things. Like, I still don't have my PlayStation 5 pre-order. I still don't have my 3080 graphics card, and I didn't even want to shoot my shot with the Xbox.
Out of all the flavors, you decided to be salty.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yep. Oh, trust me, Trust me, I'm so salty. I'm so salty right now. I am bloated from all the water retention.
Oh my god!
Listen, I still have my PS Vita, so who needs a PS5? Who needs an Xbox One X?
Hey, exactly. This little thing right here does not get enough love. You know?
Right.
Yeah, well, despite the fact Sony didn't love us with a freaking $200 memory card, but
Yeah. I don't like to mention that. I don't like to mention how much I paid for a 64 gig.
Hey, that's why
card.
That's why I jailbroke mine. That's all. Jailbroke mine. Use a 120 256 SD card for the memory.
See, I thought about getting another one just to jailbreak it and have the other one non-jailbroken just in case.
I thought about that, but I didn't. But it's hard to find a first gen PS Vita, and that's the one I want. Yeah. I don't want the redesign.
You don't want the blue one? You don't want the orange one?
I like the colors. Well, not. The orange one. The orange one looked kind of good, but I like the colors. But if it's not the white one, which is like a Japan exclusive, I'm only gonna get the black one.
Yeah. I want the all white one.
All right. So, Nellie, what's your week been like? How you been? I know you've been studying, hitting them books.
Yeah. Crazy enough, I'm doing that right now. As I'm talking to everybody.
you judo chop a professor in the throat this week?
No, I didn't. But
because you always
judo chop. I wanted to come on.
Nellie's professor just entered the chat, by the way. You might want to.
Y'all know which one it is, though. I got 4 different ones.
And Logan, are you still riding the waves from that LAN Party podcast from Monday?
I mean, yeah, it's been a great week. I finally beat Avengers this weekend. Let me tell y'all.
And lo and behold, we're going to talk about Avengers a little bit later.
Oh god.
Oh yeah.
Dude. And then I've been playing another game too. That makes my heart skip a beat.
Is it a PlayStation
2K
game?
Battlegrounds.
Oh,
WWE 2K Battlegrounds. Yeah.
Okay, it is on PlayStation.
It is so over the toply awesome. Like, there's a review coming out. I think I'm aiming for Friday. I'm in the middle of writing it right now. it's so over the top and just awesome and bizarre, and yeah, it's just perfect.
All right, so let's go ahead and do some housekeeping because we have a big show for our fans and audience tonight. All right, so Crossroads is a PlayStation podcast here on Boss Rush Games, where each week we are live here on twitch.tv/Boss Rush Games Live. I swear, I'm always going to tongue tie that for some strange reason. We come together to bring you the latest news, rumors, discussions, and games in the world of PlayStation. If you can't join us live, you can head on over to youtube.com/Boss Rush Games or your favorite podcast service every Thursday to listen to the show. Remember, do us a favor because we need it. We love it. We want you to do it. To like, share, rate, and review us wherever you consume our show. And check out our family of podcasts and all of our content, which I will do a small recap of all the shows available to us from bossrushgames.com. All right, so you guys excited?
Oh, yeah.
I am.
It's the best day of the week.
Well. Thursday last week was not the best day of the week for a lot of people. Like Logan got lucky, but I think the rest of us on the panel were shut down Thursday night. And Sony has issued an apology for the pre-order fiasco. So let's go ahead and unpack this right now. So I said it in chat earlier today when we were getting our notes ready for this. Bots everywhere, just bots. What in the world? I mean, how can you compete? How can you compete with the automated version of the internet? How do you compete with that?
You can't.
Two-factor authentication would have been a great thing on these pre-orders.
Yes.
Yeah, those traffic signs didn't do their job.
Yeah, the traffic signs and two-factor authentication, I think, would have been the perfect thing of like, hey, are you actually human? Send a text code to your phone, click the link, and then that confirms your thing. It was rough. It was a very, very rough pre-order process. I got really freaking lucky.
If you guys were paying attention to last Thursday's bonus show when we did the actually it was Wednesday's bonus show when we did the PlayStation the price event and all that stuff.
Yeah.
You saw a lot of us. We were actually live on the show during the show. Like we're like, hey, the pre-orders are up, and we were all scrambling to get pre-orders. And Logan, you got yours through Walmart, right?
Yeah, I got mine through Walmart. Got a digital one,
Uh-huh.
and it still shows confirmed because Walmart has been dropping them, and I did not get a backup one. I know Corey was able to snag 2 Xboxes, and I'm like, that would have been a smarter idea for me to do. And yeah,
I'm gonna chime in here real quick. I am here. I'm not really part of the show, but I did. Logan said I did get 2 Xboxes. I did that because, well, I had like an army of people trying to pre-order the Xbox for me today while I was at work, and I was also trying to pre-order it while I was at work. Target crashed on me like 47 times, and my wife couldn't get into Best Buy because they didn't go up right away. And yeah, my mom, of all people, the most technologically savvy person in our family. I mean, let me tell you, she ended up getting it to go through on Target. And so I was like, okay. And I was walking back in from work on break, and I was like, you know what? Let me just open Amazon. I must have opened it right when the pre-orders went live because I typed in Xbox Series X. It popped up. I clicked on it. I clicked pre-order, and it said, thank you for your purchase. And I'm like, oof. Like no crashing, no delays, no.
Have you already got an email saying, hey, this may not arrive on time?
I got that. I got it from Target. I did not get that from Amazon.
Yeah, I wonder because wasn't it Thursday or Friday before Amazon sent those emails up? Yeah, okay, so
it was Friday.
The assumption could be made maybe Thursday Amazon sends those out because that email's going to come. I mean, regardless.
I mean, look, yeah. I have to, and like everybody on the Arsenal X team got one except for Jesse. So, you know, fingers crossed if they don't get canceled, I'm just going to send Jesse one of my pre-orders because, I mean, I don't need 2 X's, right? Like, who's that cool? you know. So.
I am.
Gary with us.
What? You can't. What? Is something wrong having a bedroom Xbox and the living room Xbox?
Yeah, but that's yes.
No,
I mean, you want to the high performance machine to the bedroom, man.
I am the high performance machine in the bedroom.
I was waiting for somebody. There you go.
No, that guy that's wrecking a monster like an hour before bed.
Whoa, ready to go. We're gonna make another one. Another one.
No, I'm probably gonna get an S for the office to stream and record stuff from, because I mean, I don't need 4K in the office. I don't even have a 4K monitor, so that should change soon. But whatever.
Yeah.
I'm grabbing an S for my office or /bedroom, but I thank God I was able to get to digital. Thank God I was able to get to digital, because digital had such lower quantities than everything else, it seemed like. And I think GameStop at one point was reporting it was like a 12-to-2 ratio. For every 12 disc version that they had, they only had 2 discless. I was like, that's insane.
Yeah. That's what that Bloomberg report was saying, that they were selling 6-to-1, or they made 6-to-1 in the disc compared to the discless.
They're just trying to save GameStop at this point, because, I mean, dude, discless means, hey, GameStop, I'll never have to come see you again. Yay!
Yeah.
Exactly.
GameStop's up the creek with this whole model.
That's the thing too, is like, I'm worried for everybody who pre-ordered one from GameStop, because they might not be around by the time these consoles.
Hold on. Was I giving the Boss Rush podcast was last Saturday when I gave them like a small taste of like some stuff I dealt with as a manager at GameStop? Yeah. I would not be surprised if all the people who pre-ordered the digital versions of PlayStation suddenly had like a longer wait, like post-launch, to get their console.
Oh God! And then like they send out a coupon. Hey, save $50 if you go with the disc version.
With the disc version, they give you some type of voucher or something like.
They'll give you a $10 gift card to use on a used game in store.
Yeah. Or like buy two get one free on the used games. It's like there's no used PS5 games.
Remember Thinkies, that company we saved for bankruptcy? Here's a gift card to them.
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah. Okay, but you know, okay, we brought up the whole Amazon sending out an email saying pre-orders may not arrive at the time of release, but that also goes back to the whole pre-order fiasco. Because we were all under the impression that Sony was going to have like a pretty decent chunk of systems to available for pre-order. We don't really have numbers of how many pre-orders have gotten through. We don't know if it's 500,000, 1 million. We don't know if it's 100,000. We don't know how many pre-orders, because there's been no released numbers for how many pre-orders have been accepted. But was more shocking though is we don't know how many systems they are planning to have at launch. So this is going to put a lot of the retailers who had these, because a lot of retailers right now, like Target's already saying that, hey, we might not have the allocation that we think we're going to get. Target's saying that. Amazon's saying that. I don't know of any other retailers that are confirming that.
Walmart's come out and said that as well.
Oh yeah, okay. See, so herein lies the problem, because once again, you know, like Sony's doing a worldwide launch for their consoles, which has been great. I think they've been doing worldwide launches since PS3 now, because PS2 was staggered. Japan got it first, and then we got it like within a month or two. I can't remember specifically, but Sony's been doing worldwide launches for in all regions for the new systems as they come out. But and I remember when PS4 came out, I think they said they want to have anywhere from 1.5 to 2 million units available, you know, at launch. So it would cover pre-orders as well as people who may want to walk into a store and get one. But it's scary right now because I haven't heard any actual numbers of what they plan to have at launch. So we don't know. Hell, you know, like the few people who had their pre-orders, they might be the lucky ones that even see one. Are you guys scared?
I think the whole thing, I'm not really scared, but I think the whole thing was just like not planned good, because I think it was Walmart that accidentally released it early, and then they sent out an apology. It was.
From my understanding, I think I heard this on the LAN Party podcast. Wasn't a European wasn't a European marketplace that broke date on the pre-orders, and that forced Walmart and GameStop to jump the gun.
Yeah, Portugal and Spain ended up getting it before everybody else did on the pre-order, and then that resulted in Walmart going ahead and pulling the trigger.
Yeah, and here's something about it. Here's something about it. This is something I learned when working from EB Games and GameStop. Like street dates, basically street dates it's like a gag order for like I've been in stores when we've actually had the product there, but we have not had it ready for sale and stuff like that. And the way street dating goes is like you can't sell it till the date it's supposed to launch. But in the retail world, it gets cutthroat because like if somebody accidentally sells a copy of the game before the designated street date, and it can be 2 weeks before the game launches, it can be the day before the game launches. If someone breaks a street date, you have like every other retailer has carte blanche to sell the games or sell the systems, whatnot, things like that. So basically that event that happened in Portugal is what caused like the pre-orders to roll out too early, because Sony, I actually wanted to do the pre-orders on Thursday. I think they wanted to do it. Was it 11 a.m. Eastern time on Thursday? That was their original. Their original window. But then again, like I'm getting an email from Best Buy at 8:29 p.m. on Wednesday night saying, "Oh, the pre-orders are here." Yeah. So
mine they come through to like 9 something. I was like, "Oh, it's open," and then
you didn't get your email. Like, you know what? If Logan hadn't ran to Walmart while we were in the middle of the show and said, "Hey, pre-orders are open." When he said pre-orders are open, I checked my email. As soon as I opened my email, I saw an email at 8:29. I was at Best Buy at 8:30, and had a digital edition in my cart. Could never check out.
Yeah.
Same here.
I got lucky. I'm happy. It's a beautiful day.
Oh, and then I got another email from Walmart saying, "Oh, it's back in stock." And then I tried to do it again, and it was like, no, not today.
Remember how Sony had said, "Hey, sign up for email updates, and we'll be selecting people to go ahead and pre-order." They were having issues with those too. It's like
I never got my email from them.
Well,
I never got mine either.
They were being very selective. So remember, they asked for your gamer tag, not your email.
Yeah.
I think Greg Miller from Kind of Funny was making the point of they might actually be checking your PSN profile and seeing like, hey, this person who has like maybe 20 trophies, we're not gonna give it.
Oh, I'm screwed then, because I kind of retired. I kind of retired.
Oh, yeah, I'm screwed.
I kind of retired my PS4 when Monster Hunter World came out on PC.
Oh yeah, I'm screwed. They like no.
Sony was like, this guy, he better shut up.
I bet you it's more about how many games you bought on the PlayStation system.
Well,
they'll be like, hey, you've been buying 10 games the last 2 months. You have money. Corona didn't affect you, so here we go. You can afford the PS5.
Yeah, that could be it too.
As much money as I spent on the Sims, they better give me my damn PlayStation.
Much I spent on GTA 5.
My language.
All right. Any final thoughts on the whole fiasco? Oh, actually, I do want to add something. For all the Trekkies out there that are watching, one of our favorite captains, Anson Mount, who's the new Captain Pike, for the new Star Trek series when it comes out. He put a tweet out there, and it was freaking phenomenal. Hold on, I'm pulling it up right now. He basically said that because of not just the PlayStation fiasco, but also the Xbox fiasco, he basically said that this basically has killed everybody's holiday season. Yeah. Everybody's holiday season, like there's not much that can be done, as far as this, and like there has to be better planning, and it's a lot of why can't I find it? Did he delete it? Did he take it down? I doubt he took it down. Oh man, I can't. But basically, like I said, the summary was that because of the fallout and everything, right? Basically a lot of holiday plans are ruined now. And it's just really shoddy. Not just on the retailer, not just on the manufacturers like Sony and Microsoft on this, but also it's bad on the retailers, because I was trying to pre-order that same night. that all this was going down, the RTX 3080s went on release too, and I got locked out of those, and it was all because of bots and all that stuff. And Newegg got caught in a lie, because Newegg turned around and said that they had an authentication system in place, and a lot of people jumped on social media and like, no, you guys didn't. So yeah,
Newegg's in that weird spot too, where it's like, you guys are a big enough retailer that does a lot of great things. I mean, Newegg for the most part has had, pretty decent track record. For them to just completely drop the ball, it's almost as if like Xbox would come out and say, "Hey, we're not going to be like PS, or we're not going to be like Sony's pre-order. We're going to be better." And then, drop the ball there too.
Yeah. Okay. I found the tweet. Anson Mount said this PS5 and Xbox Series X rollout has been an utter debacle. This is going to change how these things are handled in the future, but it's probably too late for this holiday season. A total letdown for game fans.
Yeah. Because you also got to think there are so many gamers who have been waiting specifically for this console. I mean, this is probably the most hype we've had on a console in a while, and we know we're getting a great games lineup. And there's so many people who are waiting for the PS5 and the Xbox Series X to play Cyberpunk, to play Valhalla, games that you can play them on PS4 or Xbox One, but you want them for that next gen.
Yep, for real.
Yeah. Because I was looking forward to play Cyberpunk on PlayStation, but looks like I have to wait.
Yeah. I was looking to play Last of Us 2 on PS5. That's what I was waiting for.
You can get it on PS4.
Yeah, but I wanted to wait and play it on PS5. Exactly. I don't want to hear I don't want to hear the jet engine while I'm murdering people.
I mean, right now my plans for Cyberpunk are hinging upon me getting a 3080.
Yeah. As much as I love my Spider-Man PS4, it makes a lot of noise. It purrs.
You know, I was
playing one time. Go ahead.
You know, while we were talking about because we're gonna roll right into PlayStation Plus collection news. While we're talking about it though, if you're in the Twitch chat right now, I'm gonna put the code up. If you guys want want half off on a year of PlayStation Plus, there's a promotion going on now from Eniba.com. I will put the link up for you guys, and you can check it out. It came to me via Slick Deals, so check it out if you guys want to. I'm planning on buying at least 2 of these cards so I can stack my membership for 2 years. But anyway,
get a lot in stock.
Yep. Right. Where are all the bots at now? Why is that in stock? Yeah, but the PlayStation Plus collection, you know what? This is why I'm actually going to jump on this $30 deal for a year of PlayStation Plus, because I mean, honestly, I did not really plan on doing a lot of online gaming, so PlayStation Plus wasn't an incentive for me. But you know, the fact that this is Sony's answer to backwards compatibility, but there's a hitch to it, because technically it's only backwards compatibility for PS4 games, which the part of the collection is you'll have access to the PlayStation 4 library as it becomes available for PS5. You don't have to spend any extra money for these games, by the way. You just as soon as they're available on the platform, you can start playing them right then and there. Just download them and go. But I'm excited for this. The 3 games that are supposed to be was Last of Us Remastered. What were the other 2? I know Last of Us was one.
God of War's on that list.
God of War, yeah.
Days Gone, huge one there.
Uncharted 4, right?
Uncharted 4, yeah. I'm curious if they're going to throw Lost Legacy in there too.
Hold on, let's see something. Let's see. I don't see it. Shoot. There was supposed to be 3 games right at the jump, and I know The Last of Us Remastered was one of them for sure.
It wasn't Horizon, was it?
Nah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. I think Horizon might be one of the last games that shows up, because right now the push and all the sales is getting on the PC. That's getting Horizon that notoriety.
Mm-hmm.
I can't find the games, but they're there. I'll have to relook at the trailer for it. But yeah, like that's exciting. And like I said, it basically energized me enough to where like I'm gonna spend money on PlayStation Plus again. But I'm gonna buy these cards. I'm gonna wait till I have a PS5 because I'm not playing anything on PS4. So why am I gonna start the clock now?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But yeah. This is their answer to backwards compatibility. It might not be the answer everybody wants, and there's a technical reason why we can't have full backwards compatibility going back to Generation 1 of PlayStation. But you know what? In all seriousness, this gives people some wiggle room for what they want to do as far as their PS4 that's been sitting on the shelf. You know, things like that. You know, like you can think about either handing it down or using it as if you're one of those people that like believe in GameStop culture, you might want to use it now to trade in. I guarantee you.
Get your $10.
Well, I guarantee you, GameStop's going to have some type of promo for trading your PS4 to get your PS5. I guarantee. It might not be the most attractive promo.
We'll give you $20 now, in-store credit.
Only.
Yeah, if you give us all your games, you get an additional $15.
Yeah, right.
But only if it's
the
gold cartridge.
All right. So that's actually. Hold on. Okay. So to the panel, how disappointed are you guys about the backwards compatibility? I've spoken on a couple of different podcasts about the backwards compatibility thing, and I put my stance on it. Ultimately, my stance is backwards compatibility doesn't move the needle enough for me to say I have to have this system, because I'm honestly trying to get the new games that are coming out. I still have my PS3. I currently have a PS4, and I still have Actually, I have all my PlayStation systems. I still have the PS1. I saw the PS1, the remodel, the slim PS2, and I still have PS3 and PS4. So yeah, I mean, I'm not really pressed for backwards compatibility when I still have these consoles and they're working.
The big games that I would want to play on backwards compatibility, like Spyro, Crash Bandicoot, they've all been remastered, and I think that needs to be the resolution, is like more of these games are going to be remastered. We've got Prince of Persia coming, even though it doesn't look like it's remastered. And I mean, like,
hey, they remastered that Prince of Persia soundtrack. That soundtrack was bumping in that trailer.
I mean, dude, there's too many games for me to want to go back and play these older ones that I haven't played in a while. Like, I mean,
yeah,
think about it. These games just don't play the way that the new ones do, and that's a huge thing for me. Is like you get used to the new ways controls work and how camera movements are and everything, and you go back and play those games. It's like they don't hold the same value that they used to.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
I will say that like most of the games that I go back and play are the arcadey type party type games.
Yeah.
So like I like the old Mario Party games. I like old racing games, old sports games. But as far as going back and playing like a campaign, especially like first person shooters and stuff like that, it's really hard. Like it doesn't. And by the time you're like, oh, that sounds really fun, and you go back and play it, then it's like, oh, this isn't worth it. This really isn't worth it. I mean, I love my Xbox because I can still play the Star Wars Battlefront 2, the good one.
Yeah.
I love playing that game, and I go back to it frequently. And it's nice to be able to play, like, now that I have my first Xbox, which is the Xbox One, I can play Gears of War, I can play Halo and stuff, and that's nice. That's a great history deal where I can play all these games and then be able to play Gears of War 6 when it comes out, or, you know, Halo Infinite when it comes out. But PlayStation doesn't have that. If you want to go back and play Infamous, you can't.
No.
Like, you can do it through PS Now, but is it worth it? Because streaming sucks.
That's an adventure. That's an adventure by itself.
Yeah. I mean, I got PS Now because I could get, you know, PS4 games I could download, and that feature's nice. But trying to go back and play PS3 games like Red Dead and Fallout and Infamous, it all sucked. Everything just sucked trying to stream that. It just doesn't work as smooth as movies and stuff like that.
Nellie, you have any thoughts on the whole PS5 compatibility?
I still have like
more like backwards compatibility, not just PS5, but backwards compatibility as a whole.
Yeah, actually, I still have all my games, so it really doesn't bother me that we don't get to go back to like PS1 to PS3 because it's like, hey, I could just hook any of that up to my TV and had it. So it doesn't really bother me. And then, like, plus moving on with the graphics, it's like, why would you really want to go back all the way to PS1 and play one of those little blocky games? I mean, I respect it because I grew up with that, but at the same time, it's like, let's move forward.
Exactly. I use this as an example. Like last week, I was like, you're not gonna catch me playing Vagrant Story on my 70-inch 4K television. You're not gonna catch me playing that.
You'll catch me doing that though. When I got that PS1 mini classic, those were the games I went back and played, or the RPGs, because those are the games that you could play. The JRPGs were really fun to play, but trying to play like Twisted Metal, and it was not working.
Like, what is this?
I don't know. Even sprite-based video games, like we're kind of like like Final Fantasy Tactics.
They don't look good, but they at least play.
They play
well
nice.
enough.
They play nice.
Yeah. I have this theory that when I get older, I'm trying to save all the JRPGs I can, because when I get older, my reflexes aren't good enough. At least I can play JRPGs, turn-based tactic games. At least I could do that.
At least, except for the ones that have you just jamming on the buttons.
Oh yeah. I can't play South Park Stick of Truth at 90.
Oh,
It's not gonna work.
God, can you imagine?
Trying to shove a fart out, you know what I'm saying? It's not gonna work.
There's one of the comments in the Twitch chat is like Austin says streaming sucks. It's like Stadia leaves the chat crying.
I'll be honest, I want Stadia to work. Like, the fact of streaming game to my phone would be awesome, but it just doesn't work. We're not there yet, technology wise. And I live in Oklahoma, so I mean, it might work better in better internet places
where Google Fiber is at, because I have like top tier Verizon, and there's days when it's like I'll just play offline.
We have AT&T fiber, we have some Google Fiber, but it's rare. It's still rare, and even then when you get it, it doesn't. I don't know, especially when you're playing first person. Like, if I'm playing Call of Duty, I want that thing to be exactly accurate where I'm doing. If I have it, I already have lag in Call of Duty anyway. If you add lag from streaming, it's just going to get worse.
Mm-hmm.
Then I'll break my screen and buy another one.
I was working on a project for Boss Rush on something that hasn't been announced yet, and I put the Sony, Microsoft, Nintendo, and then like in the little sub bar text I put, we don't mention Stadia because Stadia really sucks. As part of animated shows, like,
you know what? One of these days, Stadia is gonna grow up and mature. And it's gonna straight Kool-Aid man us on the podcast one of these nights. Yeah. It's just gonna like bust it and be like,
well, Google owns us anyway, so it's okay. I mean, they're already implanted in our brains. It's fine.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be okay.
All right. So here's a light topic for you. The Avengers patch came out.
Oh, God, yes.
And if you guys are paying attention in the chat right now, when I tell you that the Avengers patch was some heavy lifting, let's just say that from the patch notes itself, patch version 1.3.0 is our first major patch since the launch and addresses over 1,000 issues that players have helped surface the past 2 weeks from the game, ranging from several progression stoppers, progression stoppers, to small graphical fixes. You know what? This is the easiest way for me to stop playing a game. If I was playing Avengers, I have not played Avengers yet, but if I was playing Avengers and I ran into one of those progression stoppers, that's a wrap for me.
Over. There was a reason I couldn't finish the game before Sunday. Because of the progression stopper. Yeah, I got to the final mission. I had unlocked everything I needed to unlock to be able to do the final mission, and then it wouldn't let me go to the war table to start it. And I know Joshman over there from Arsenal Linux and Tower Casuals had the same issue. Him and I were talking about it Friday, and I was like, dude, this is the hard thing. Here's the even harder thing though. The game still has bugs.
Oh, I bet.
Whoa, really?
Wasn't this game in development for a hot minute though?
What did I say? 3 years?
5 years.
5 years?
5 years.
5 years?
5 years. And you know what? You know what? I don't know. Is this as bad as Assassin's Creed Unity though, with Indiana Jones faces and you?
No.
Corey, can you hop back on for a second? What? Because him and I both played it. What issues did you run into? Because I was running into there was a part where I was in an aim lab in fighting as Black Widow, and then all of a sudden I'd go through a wall and I could see the entire map level. Like I could see the entire level, and I was just kind of floating there in space. And even a hard reset on the game wouldn't fix that. What kind of issues did you run into?
Well, after the 1,000 bug fixes, I launched the game, and when I went to load into a mission, it hard crashed to my Xbox dashboard.
No!
There's one big bug that wasn't fixed. I've just seen like a lot of slowdown. I've gotten stuck in geometry. When I'm playing as Iron Man and I hit like a building or something, like I'll just get stuck randomly. Enemies getting stuck in geometry when there's this one level in Iron Man where you're kind of like getting ready to go into a building, but you fight a ton of enemies, and some of the enemies are flying, and when you shoot them down, they fall, they fall, like you would expect them to, but they get stuck in the geometry, like some of the balconies and stuff, and they're still in their falling animation, but they can't finish dying because they're stuck in the balcony. So I've had that, and just small things like that. And I don't know, I tried to play the other day, and it hard crashed, and then like Hulk had like this weird looking morphed face, and I was going into the story mission, and I was like, I'm just gonna wait like 6 weeks to finish this game when the Series X and PlayStation 5 come out, so I can like
It kind of reminds me of what I was saying when Mass Effect Andromeda was doing its thing, because I bought Mass Effect Andromeda at launch, and the amount of patching that they were doing, while the game was still active, just it was enough to make me quit. The sad part is that a lot of stuff that they were patching wasn't really stuff that was bothering me. There was one thing that was a progress stopper for me. We landed on the planet. And the planet didn't get rendered correctly, so there was like no floor. Mm-hmm. So you see the landscape, you see your guys standing, and basically they should have been falling to like infinity.
Yeah, I didn't play Andromeda until like 6 months later, and it was like $15 on a sale, and I got it, and I was like, man, this game's
wonderful game, wasn't it?
This game feels like a not Mass Effect trilogy level Mass Effect, but I was like, this is definitely Mass Effect with jetpacks. So I'm like, I'm all for this. So
yeah, I never beat the game because sour taste in my mouth, and I'm a Mass Effect guy.
Yeah. So.
I was having another issue with Thor, where if you use Thor's super, it unleashes the power of the Bifrost, and Thor disappears for a second. And then you go to whatever enemy you're going to select, and then hit R1, and it unleashes the power. And then Thor wouldn't reappear. But you could still move as Thor, and you could still, you'd see the hammer swinging.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it was some of the dumbest. I love the game to death. You will not hear me say anything bad about the story, the characters. I
that's where I'm at,
came
too.
to love Nolan North as Iron Man. I mean, he did a pretty dang good job at the end. And I love the voice that they got for Captain America.
Yeah, speaking of Iron Man, I've never been able to, every time I use the super, I cannot get the Hulkbuster armor to appear. I
haven't had any issues with that.
That's one major thing that I've run into. I think in the probably 6 or 7 times I've tried to use that super, I've gotten it once.
There's one criminally there's one story plot line. Like they set up a really cool moment criminally. You think is gonna. Not bad.
No. It's good. It's good.
They set up a moment in the story where it's like, oh, this would be totally cool if we get to have another fight with this particular character, and you never see that character again. And I'm like, come on, that could have been cool. Because at the very beginning of the game, you do a Hulk mission against Abomination.
Uh-huh.
And that fight is just awesome. It's so much fun.
Is it?
They tease a bomb. I loved it. I thought it was a good time. Corey's like, okay. I'm not impressed. They tease Abomination coming back in the final battle, and then there's just nothing. And Hulk's part of actual Hulk's part of the final battle is kind of lame. Bruce Banner has a really cool moment, but.
I haven't gotten that far yet, but like I don't think the story is complete. They're definitely holding some of that story when the new characters come in. I feel like.
Oh yeah, I feel that way too.
I've heard a lot of the big boss battles aren't even like real villains. They're just like there's like a giant robot tank and like a giant robot, and you know what I mean. Like there's just.
And as great as the final battle is, they leave a lot of doors open at the end of it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you're going to add like 20 characters to this game, you're going to need the stories to tell, you know? Especially like the Hawkeye stuff that's coming.
Oh, yes.
By the way, the Kate Bishop trailer is the trailer that convinced me to buy this game because it's really rad. You should go watch the Kate Bishop trailer.
I was thinking about saving this for rumor control, but there is a rumor going around that this might be the game where we finally see Fantastic Four in a video game. Is that something you guys want to see, or is that not?
It'd be cool. It'd be cool because Marvel does need to do something with that whole lineup.
I would like that, but I would also just like a Fantastic Four game by itself.
Yeah, I was just about to say that.
I don't like them shoving all these Marvel characters in one game. I would like it all fleshed out. I would easily pay for a $40 Spider-Man Miles Morales type deal where it's just Fantastic Four in their own story.
Mm-hmm.
There is easily a spot you could fit Victor Van Doom into this game. There's a really easy spot. And I could totally see it just be like everybody kind of comes out of shadows and Fantastic Four's there, and that would be really cool. But I keep thinking about like how many characters can they actually add? Like we think Wolverine's probably coming. We think X-Men to some extent could come. We imagine like they have the tech already built for Ant-Man. Like Ant-Man could fit seamlessly in here. Guardians of the Galaxy would be cool. How big could this game get?
I mean, there's already like a leaked list of like first run characters, right? But in like. I mean, again, rumor, but you see that list and you can definitely see that the base characters that you get are archetypes for these characters, right? Like War Machine will obviously play like Iron Man. I feel like Spider-Man will probably play very close to Kamala Khan. Kate Bishop and Hawkeye are essentially going to be the same character. I feel like Black Panther will probably play a lot like Captain America or Black Widow. Like you can see the archetypes in the main characters and these new characters. Like now, granted, some of these new characters will probably play differently. Like I see Ant-Man would probably play differently, right? Like, I mean, I want to see how they implement Ant-Man into this.
Because the problem is that you couldn't leave like the shrinking or the enlarging to an R1 L1 thing. Like you wouldn't be able to wait for that because so much of his combat is based on the ability to shrink. Now, he could turn, like, giant like Kamala does as a super. That could be cool.
Yeah.
But...
Yeah. I kind of see Ant-Man could possibly... Like, his super would be Giant Man and not Ant-Man.
And then, like, his R1 could be, like, him throwing a fire truck or a gasoline truck and then hitting the button. And then
like he does in Civil War.
Yeah, exactly. Like he does in Civil War or... Yeah.
Yeah.
Different ways you can go about it.
I just watched Ant-Man the other day, by the way, on Disney Plus because I was like, I usually turn something on to fall asleep to, and Ant-Man, pretty good. The movie's
pretty good. It's my favorite. It's my favorite MCU. It's one. Yeah, it's my favorite MCU movie that's not directly plugged into the plot line for that phase.
Yeah.
Solid villain. Very good villain in that one.
Oh yeah, Yellow Jacket. Yeah.
Very convincing. Very evil, conniving.
Oh, definitely. All right, so basically just to wrap this up, yeah, for all those who are wondering, as a matter of fact, I will also throw us in the Twitch chat for people who want to see the litany of freaking patches that they did. Basically, they had patches for the campaign and the Avengers Initiative portion. The multiplayer and matchmaking had a small amount. Art and animation had some. User interface had some fixes. Combat saw the most fixes as far in the patch notes. I mean,
that was noticeable too. That was very noticeable. Captain America flowed beautifully for that final mission.
Yeah, the gear challenges and rewards had updates, platform specific fixes. There were specific fixes for PlayStation, Xbox, PC, and Stadia. And then they had some known issues and workarounds that they noted as well. And yeah, there's still more to come. They're also encouraging anyone to come over to their Reddit page if they're finding more stuff that they think that gamers feel needs to be addressed. So there you go. And let's go ahead and move on. We were actually going to talk about WWE 2K Battleground review, but I think we need to actually sideline that for this episode and talk about Microsoft snatching up Bethesda and what that may spell for Sony, because I know Sony fanboys are not happy. I'm just gonna let you guys talk because I got into some serious trouble in the group chat earlier in the week.
Can I say something real quick? We did an emergency Arsenal X episode last night, Josh and I, just to talk about this, and I've been thinking a lot about it today between me working and me freaking out about getting and pre-ordering something. I think this acquisition for Microsoft is more of I think they're going to go more the Minecraft route with this and not necessarily keep all these games for themselves. Like I think Elder Scrolls and Fallout are too big for exclusivity. I think that Doom is too big for exclusivity. I think Starfield, people are so excited for Starfield that's too big for exclusivity. I think their play is you can buy this game on Steam or on PlayStation for $60 or $70, but if you have Game Pass, you get it. I think that's their big play. And I think they did it more than just for acquiring these IP. I think they did it for id Tech. I think id Tech is a very strong piece of technology that Microsoft wanted to own and now they own. Bethesda's interest in VR, I think, is way more advanced than Microsoft's current situation is. So maybe they want to explore that space without actually exploring that space, and Bethesda has done that. And I think that they have a lot of talented people within Bethesda that aren't necessarily in game development, right? Like Pete Hines is such a charismatic and great marketer for Bethesda that like maybe he could do something more with Microsoft as a whole. I don't know. I just thought a lot about it today while I was really hating life at work today. So
there's a tweet I want to read if I can find it. Jeffy Grubb. Actually, somebody else talk for a minute. And I'll
Grub Snacks.
Grub Snacks.
You think he's gonna make that Bug Snacks song into Grub Snacks?
He's gonna have.
Can we just talk about how cool Bug Snacks is for a second? I know this is totally off tangent, but like, I rewatched that trailer and that song is so catchy. I'm just like, man, I kind of want to play Bug Snacks. I catch myself at work sometimes just going Bug Snacks. Just to myself,
Logan, you keep winning the battle. You keep winning the battle, man.
Bug snack. Okay, here's the tweet chain I want to read. So Jeff Grubb, obviously it's a fake name, but I'm kidding. He had a great list of tweets today that I want to read out. So he said, lots of talks of why Microsoft wants Bethesda, and I wrote this to explain why Bethesda stakeholders wanted to sell. AAA gaming's future is unsustainable and murky, and it would take a lot of effort, money, and luck to reorganize for that future. It makes more sense to sell. Also, I don't personally get worked up about Sony buying exclusives, but I do think that there's a distinction. Microsoft is buying Bethesda to enable its studios to continue making games. That's different than paying a company to keep an existing game off a competing platform. You can go back and check the tape. I've been consistent at this point. When Epic was just trying to put... who cares about that? There's another tweet here. Oh, Lord, where is it? Oh, never mind. Okay, but I like what he's saying here because hold on, there it is. A quick point that the way corporations think about money, that the $7.5 billion is sitting in a low interest bank. If Bethesda operating profits are greater than $75 million, then that money is already going to better use. So I think $7.5 billion was kind of a little bit of a reach there. I get it; they've got a lot in this acquisition. But that seems still like a reach. But then I was reading more about it, and yeah, Microsoft has all these IPs now. But Microsoft has never been the company to say, okay, we have to keep this off PlayStation now. I think they're prepared for that in case Sony does something like, hey, Ubisoft, you want help? And they do that, or they pull I know Konami's been thrown around a lot, thanks to the chat. Because Sony's in a weird spot now where like Sony could essentially buy anybody and do the exact same thing, and then if Sony said, okay, we're going to keep all of these games off Xbox, then Xbox could say, okay, cool, all that Bethesda stuff, yeah, you ain't touching it, you ain't going to get it, because Starfield was originally supposed to be a timed PlayStation exclusive. That just went out the window. There was rumors going around that a couple of the other games that they were like they're obviously going to keep Deathloop as a PlayStation exclusive, but this is such a weird transaction for the future. But then you also have to look at it too. Bethesda was in a spot where they weren't creating great games. Look, Fallout flopped. Prey had its issues. Fallout flopped. What was the other ones that they've really struggled with? I
think the mobile game the mobile Elder Scrolls game didn't do very well.
Mm-hmm.
I think, Wolfenstein Youngblood did not do great at all. Like, it got terrible reception. Like, I think the idea was interesting for Youngblood, but like, I think that it had checkpoint issues. It had trying to turn it into a loot-based game instead of just a normal Wolfenstein game. I think really hurt that game. I really liked Youngblood. I like the character. I love the daughters. I think they're hilarious. Because I think that's exactly what a modern Wolfenstein game should be, is like them, like not just them, but just hilariously like high-fiving each other while throwing up while they're murdering people because they've never seen blood before. Like, it's just hilarious. So
yeah. I mean, this is big news because Bethesda is actually my favorite game maker, game company, period. I love Elder Scrolls, and I love Fallout, and I love Doom, and I love Wolfenstein. They're all right up my alley. Even Rage, I love Rage as well. But to me, this definitely reeks of like they want more to have it just part on their system. They might get DLC early. I bet you that's going to be a big deal. I think they'll get, Deathloop might come to PS5, but the next game is going to come to Xbox and probably stay on Xbox. I feel like you're going to get a couple exclusives, but there's no way we're getting Elder Scrolls and Fallout not on PlayStation. That's just too much of a fan base out of there.
The way the news is shaking out, it looks like whatever was happening or supposed to be in negotiation prior to the buyout is supposed to still go into effect. So like the games that were supposed to be multi-platform, that were planned for multi-platform are supposedly getting honored that way. But we don't know for sure because ultimately now Microsoft is the majority stakeholder in everything, so they can say and do whatever the hell they want, and Sony's gamer base, Nintendo, everybody else has to get in line and just be like, okay, well, fine, we lost out.
Yeah.
If that's the case.
I don't think Sony has to worry though.
I don't think
I
so.
don't think it's going to be a big deal.
It was just funny though, because like if you followed it on social media, man, like you were starting to figure out who the real Sony fans were, because man, folks were acting like it was the end of the world. Folks were acting like PS5 just died that day.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw some tweets.
I mean, if Xbox really did say, "Hey, Elder Scrolls 6 is going to be Xbox exclusive," then that might be a time to be like, "Hey, wait a minute."
Well,
But that
still,
would. I don't think that'll ever happen. But if they did, if they're like, "Hey, here's our dick. Here we're swinging it."
Jesus.
I mean, that's what. I mean, that was my tweet, right? Like, I was like, man, Microsoft just
unzipped.
swung their big $7.5 billion dick on the table and hit Sony in the mouth with it. But like I said, I think some of these franchises are way too big to keep exclusive. Skyrim is one of the best-selling games of all time, period, right?
Yep.
It's been ported to everything. There's no way Elder Scrolls 6 is going to be exclusive to Xbox. I think you'll get perks. I think it'll come to Game Pass day one, right? I honestly think that that's the draw, is just to add content to Game Pass and use id Tech in an interesting way, and maybe, give Doom Guy a Master Chief armor set on Xbox at some point or something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's I don't really think Bethesda is really going to change as a company, because like they bought the publishing arm too, right? And Bethesda said that they're going to keep publishing their own games. They're just owned by Microsoft and Xbox. So, I mean, I'm not saying you're not going to see an Xbox Game Studios splash screen across every Bethesda game now, but you're still going to see the Bethesda Game Studios and Bethesda Softworks logo across everything. So, also, I also think that Microsoft was interested in some of those support studios too, to help with other games. Specifically, I don't know, this little game called Halo Infinite that got delayed out of this year.
that's kind of what I'm feeling too. I feel like there's going to be like a nice little shakeup. That kind of works out in the favor of a lot of these games that have had they're either having rocky roads ahead of them, or have already fumbled, and but they're still viable franchises. The one thing I will say, and this is the one thing that I think a lot of the common sense people, and I was not saying that to be insulting to people, but I think a lot of the common sense people who've been around and seen the way like developers come and go when stuff like this happens, is that we're hoping that we hope that Bethesda just doesn't fall by the wayside, like Rare, for example, and other developers like that, where nostalgia was at, back in the day and things like that. That's one of my fears, and the sad part is, like, I haven't really been on a Bethesda title since Fallout 3. That's the last time like any like Bethesda title got me hot and bothered.
I will say that even though I don't think Sony has to worry about anything, I do hope that they take this opportunity to buy some more studios, like officially buy Kojima, and officially they're not going to buy Konami because they don't want a bunch of casinos, basically. But they could buy Metal Gear, and they could buy Silent Hill, and they could let Kojima make that Silent Hill game that we desperately need, and Castlevania. And Contra, they could buy Blue Point. There's a lot of ways that they could go to say, hey, we're also in it. I don't think they're going to buy like a level of Bethesda. They don't need to. They don't need to buy like Ubisoft. No. They're not going to buy EA. They're not going to buy stuff like that. But I would personally like to see them make some moves themselves and actually buy some studios that they should have already bought. If they could buy From Software, that'd be really awesome. That could almost be as big of a move as Bethesda. So, just in terms of like what's hot right now.
Yeah. All right. Any final words?
That's all I got.
All right. Well then, so we rounded all back out the PlayStation. I mean, it's all about PlayStation, but we rounded back out the PlayStation because let's talk let's talk. Digital versus disc version of PlayStation 5. What's our thoughts? What's our preferences here? Oh, Nellie, go for it. You there?
No.
Some technical difficulties, Logan.
So obviously I went with discless for the pre-order. I'm happy with my decision right now. For me, I don't want to have to keep worrying about discs and what games do I want to keep at home, because the temptation for me is going to be trading things in. I like to trade things in. I don't want that option though. I want to be able to, hey, I've got this game, I'm keeping it forever, then I can just re-download it whenever the heck I want.
Yeah. I'm gaming on a budget now. And so my whole thought is like I'd rather have the discless one just because I don't have to worry about there's a shakeup in the group.
Yeah, something happened. Looked like, I don't know, like either I got disconnected or something.
It's like musical chairs. Everybody on the screen. Everybody on the screen just shifted. Everyone's changed. Sorry.
I don't know. I know I'm having internet problems right now.
Yeah, it started with you, Nellie.
I'm cursed.
but now you're back. Now you're back up though. So what's your preference here? Digital versus disc. Which do you have a preference, and what are you leaning on more?
I'm leaning more on digital because I don't want all those boxes laying around. And I've been going digital for a while now. I haven't bought a game like a hard copy, and so everything I have on my PS4 is pretty much digital. So I feel like that's the way to go for me. Then it's like it's saving in cluster as well. So it's like, hey, why not just have it on a hardware rather than just having discs laying everywhere?
Yeah, it's a good point.
Yeah, I'm, when we were doing the whole rush to pre-order, like I was going the digital route, and then after crashing and burning and not being able to do it, I had some time to think about it, and I think I'm gonna have to go with the physical version, like the disc version, only because like I'm afraid when like licenses are up for certain games and things like that, and like if you don't have it already downloaded on your system, like there's a chance that you won't be able to get it later off of the stores and stuff like that, or if a situation where it keeps bouncing back and forth, things like that, because a lot of people got Marvel vs. Capcom 3. And when there was this weird shakeup going on with Marvel vs. Capcom 3 before, and it had something to do with the whole like Disney merger and all that stuff, the Disney merger. Marvel vs. Capcom 3 came off of all the marketplaces and stuff like that, and people who spent like the money for the digital as well as the DLC, they were SOL on that. It never came back, but it never came back in that form. It wound up coming out in like an Ultimate Edition and whatnot. But you're kind of just out of luck on everything else. And the more I thought about it, the more I was like, you know what? I was trying to be cheap and save $100 this time, but I think I need to go ahead and get this, and that way I can pick and choose what games I want digital versus what games I want physically.
Yeah. I mean, I think right now I'm at the point where I have fiber internet, so I can download a game in virtually nothing. It's just easier for me to have everything digital instead of having to worry about discs.
I mean, there's that part of me that's like, it's also easier to have this stuff digital. I mean, yeah, I 100% agree with that. But there's some security of being able to, like, because I've bought games and spent money on them like crap. Like I bought a few mobile games, spent money on them, and then they took the servers down and can't ever play a game ever again.
Yeah, that's fair.
Are any of you interested in using the 4K Blu-ray aspect of the disc one?
For the Xbox Series S, yes.
That's because you got that iffy spiffy Dolby Atmos.
Yeah. It's true.
The
guys-
the S doesn't have a disc drive.
Oh gosh,
Yeah.
my bad. The X.
Like these guys on LAN Party, they're having a Circle J about that Dolby Atmos.
True. True. Boy.
I mean,
Have that audio coming right at me.
I mean, it's envious though. It's envious though. I will say that. Like I was like, man, how did Sony not get that? But it is what it is.
Pleasantly shocked when Microsoft announced, "Hey, yeah, we got Dolby Atmos." Okay.
Yep. All right.
Move.
Anybody? Microsoft is actually swinging for the fences, man. Like I swear,
Much respect to Microsoft.
Well, this is they're like we couldn't win the pricing war, so we're gonna win everywhere else.
There's just Randy out there from South Park sitting there with your wheelbarrow with the giant balls, just fucked down.
All right. So, any other thoughts on that? Because we're about to run up on the rumor control.
Nope.
All right.
Good luck, everybody.
Buy digital. Save the environment.
Save the environment.
Don't have all these plastic cases.
Now you got me feeling like a monumental dick because
That's right.
I do want.
That's how I do it right before the segment ends.
Man, because part of me is like a consumer wants the physical, but at the same time, I'm just happy getting digital. It doesn't matter, I'll say this though, like maybe. Yes, we get it. Big companies like this, they're not consumer friendly. We know this. We've had conversations about this on various other podcasts about this and stuff like that. But take into consideration, you guys, when you have a fan base that's out there paid money for something they may not have. And yeah, I understand. Like when we buy video games, technically we're all doing an end user agreement that we're actually licensing that product for however much money we spent for it at the time. I understand that, but at the same time, like have some forethought to think, like, are we going to screw our people who spend money, or are we going to try to appease them as long as possible? I understand, like the music industry and the movie industry and stuff may screw you with your intellectual properties on these games and stuff, but try to help us out as long as possible, especially in the day and age of COVID where, folks don't always have the money to like spend on this stuff, If we're throwing you the dollars, like throw us the love. That's my LeRon talks to the XYZ segment for the night. I always have one.
LeRon rants brought to you by OnlyFans.
Hey, there's a $3 special right now.
One off, one on.
All right.
I'm not gonna eat this week, but it was worth it.
All right. Okay, so we're rolling into a segment that we like to call rumor control. Basically, the way rumor control works is there's a lot of stuff out there that's talked about, hinted upon, things like that. And 9 times out of 10, it's just someone talking either behind, just trying to generate clicks on the internet or bring attention to their sites and stuff like that. So we are doing what's called rumor control, where we're either going to corroborate the rumor or we are going to debunk the rumor. And right now, the track record on this show has been we've debunked damn near everything. So let's talk about Red Dead Undead Nightmare, possibly 2.
This is happening. Rockstar needs to get Red Dead Online built up to do something, because
Aliens.
It's like a dying horse at this point. Not to be. It just give me all the aliens. Give me Arthur Morgan. Oh shit! There's an alien over there.
That's how
Give
more
me
like
that.
Hogan, but go ahead.
And give me a heist where we have to go hijack a UFO ship. Like, let's fucking go.
Yeah, I mean, I wanted to go back to Red Dead 2, but none of me wants to go back to Red Dead Online. But if they were to put aliens or an undead nightmare mode, I would be 100% on Red Dead Online. And I don't play online games. Like, I don't like GTA Online. I hate it, actually. It's actually the worst thing that I could possibly play. I feel like sometimes I'm just saying this to piss off Logan now.
Well, hey, guess what's coming to Extra Life stream on LAN Party?
Somewhere,
That's okay.
somewhere Ed
I'll-
is
I'll-
jumping up and down, cheering. Just
I'll play everybody's golf instead while you play GTA Online or something else. I don't know.
Ed is cheering louder than anybody that somebody else hates Grand Theft Auto Online as much as he does.
Yeah.
And somewhere out there, Josh Finn's like, all right, Logan, respect.
I don't know. I think Josh needs to pick better friends and better games too.
All right, so I guess the consensus is it needs to happen, whether it's a rumor or not.
It needs to happen. I mean, you got to do something to Red Dead Online. I mean, we've talked about it before. GTA 5 is such an online massive hit for Rockstar, and they want Red Dead Redemption 2 to be the same, or not necessarily the same, but have at least a continuous online user base. And I gotta be honest, every time I step into Red Dead Online 2, it just feels like less and less people are playing consistently. They're just not giving us a reason to keep going back. And if I play Red Dead Redemption 2 online as kind of a relaxation thing of going hunting, going fishing. That relaxes me. Mm-hmm. And so I keep going into the game for that. But otherwise, there's not really a big point in me to keep going.
I will say, if you really want to get Red Dead Online going, we saw a man bear pig in that house. Bring it back.
He was going
Make man bear pig a thing in Red Dead and have the people from South Park come in. I swear to you, it'll sell more units than GTA ever has if we bring man bear pig into the game. Mark my word. And I'm going to drink out of this can to finish off what I just said. But there's nothing in it.
All right.
Austin is on a roll with this segment. Oh my god. Nellie, do you have anything to add? I'm done.
I was gonna say something, but no.
That was too good. Austin has the mic drop for the night. Oh boy. All right, so even the Twitch chat is rolling on this one. Oh my god. All right, so we've got an actual question for the night here. So I'm going to go ahead and this is from Eve912. He asks about the specificity of the tech here. Will cutscenes in games outshine the gameplay and actual environments? Actually, it feels like it was I'm going to break this down. So, first question is: will cutscenes in games outshine gameplay and actual environments in the games itself? What do you got? How do you guys feel?
This was a great question when Halo first came out, because yes, at that point I would have agreed. The cutscenes are I mean, the gameplay was awesome of Halo, absolutely, but the cutscenes were just absolutely insane.
Mm-hmm. Movie quality.
Nowadays, it's like Horizon's cutscenes were pretty mediocre. Like, I'd rather be playing the game.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, I think
completely agree with you.
I think it's because technology changed overall. We got to a point where we've gotten to a point in gaming now where like the cutscenes are done in game with the engine that you actually play the games on, and that's great for the immersiveness because you jump in and out of the cutscene and you don't realize that the game is playing or if the game has gone on autopilot at certain points and stuff like that. So yeah, back in the day when you know, like our bonus, like playing Final Fantasy VII and seeing the giant meteor come down and stuff like that, you know, that was like a reward for playing through to a certain point in the game and stuff like that, you know. And nowadays we have where like video games. There's a reason why at one point video games were and still are considered, you know, a competitor to Hollywood. It's because of the overall presentation and the value of the actual experience now. Like, it's immersive. Video games are now their own genre of literature in a certain degree. If not, you know, of course they're art form and stuff like that. Even the most questionable games are art forms. But now it's like with the way technology is, like we've come to a point where we've come to a point where cutscenes in video games are the video game. So there's no more like of this. There's no more like drawing the line in the sand for it because it's all part of the thing now. Anybody else want to add on that before I go to the next part of this question?
It's usually like really awkward when they go into a cutscene now, just because it's just like it kind of takes you out of the game.
It breaks the momentum of the game.
Mm-hmm. There's very few games that like the cutscene actually wows me enough to like be okay with it. Like Arkham, I think Arkham Knight specifically, their cutscenes were so amazing and really made it was different than the actual game. My dream is them to actually just make a movie with that technology, just make a 3D animated movie. But other than that, like Horizon, like God of War, like it was the cutscenes are cool, but it would just be cool just to see that happen in game. Honestly, I'm hoping the PS5 and new generation consoles actually play into that more.
But like, what about like Spider-Man? I think Spider-Man's a really cool example where they let you play in the cutscenes. Where like it was granted, it was like, hey, just pound square repeatedly or pound X repeatedly or do this, do that. That was such a cool thing, and I like where that technology has come.
Oh yeah, definitely. There's something to be said about when like the cutscene is interactive. Yes, because back in those times, it used to be considered quick time actions, technically.
Yeah.
But now like the quick time actions are part of the cutscenes, which the cutscenes are part of the game now. So it's like, wow, we've got like this full immersiveness, and like we're just is like it grabs us by the front of our shirt and says like, pay attention.
Pay attention to me.
Yeah.
All right. Go ahead, Nellie.
I was about to say, back in the day with Final Fantasy X, they had pretty good cutscenes.
Yes.
And I wish that the gameplay was more like the cutscenes, because we get like a whole movie with Final Fantasy X cutscenes, and then we go back down to these little pixelated graphics.
Well, you got what you want when Final Fantasy 13 came out. You got exactly what you wanted. Like even the combat system, the game will play itself for you. You don't even have to press a button.
Yeah.
Hey, 13 was great.
You know what?
We have gone on this debate for like 4 weeks. Do we need to have just this all-time
Final Fantasy
rank them?
Hey, you know what?
I really need to know like what all y'all's stance is on all the Final Fantasy games. Just to
okay, let's just make a podcast episode of the Phosphorus podcast.
I was going to say that.
Oh, we could
take it over.
I was going to say that when Final Fantasy 16 is getting ready to drop, we should do it like the Final Fantasy Battle Royale game. And you know what? Please leave Final Fantasy Tactics out of it.
We could do it. We could do it NCAA bracket style.
Oh yeah. Oh, nice.
Hey, Austin, we could also bring 3 Bracketeers over.
You could. We could.
And I could just piss everybody off with the matchups.
Actually, if you want to know, I could plug one of our shows in. We actually have a top 10 Final Fantasy.
Well, what's the name of that show?
It's the official top 10 official podcast of official top 10.
Why do I let you name things? You know, the Lampard was getting ready to go. We're like, hey, Austin, when do you want to do a show? And then he comes up with this.
It's the official podcast of top 10 official list, officially
by
Lampard.
Official.
Are you serious? That's the name of it?
Yeah, no.
Actually, it changes every time.
It's listed as the top 10.
Officially?
It's listed as the official top 10 official podcast on Spotify and everything like that.
Yeah, but when I introduce the show, it changes every time. It changes every time. But I had 2 good friends, Evan and Shane, and or I said Ellen or Dylan and Shane, and we listed the top 10 Final Fantasies. So if you want to know, just watch that episode.
All right, so the next part of the question is if games are still at 30 frames per second and dropping, how long will it take to reach a steady 60 frames per second per game, and who will be the first studio to do it? Now, I'm gonna go ahead and address this question because as the PC hardware guy, The answer is this: every game that comes out is capable of hitting 60 frames per second on any of the consoles. Hell, Switch does it like it's no big deal. But here's the thing about it: every game and every developer's scope of what they want to do with the game is based on the limitations of the hardware. And I say limitations because everybody knows, like, the apex of like a gaming experience typically is the PC, but you also have to spend the money for the PC. So throwing that out the window for a second, we've got two systems coming out, and they've got some hardcore stats to them. But at the same time, they all have this sandbox that they all have to play in. And I'm talking just generation to generation here. So these games are able to do 4K 60 based off the specs of these systems right now. But the problem is that for the developers to be able to make these games as gorgeous and to play as flawless as possible, one of the first things that takes the hit to keep the performance up is frames. And that's why a lot of games get capped at 30 frames per second and sometimes 24 frames per second. And that's the honest answer to that. So every studio that develops these games for the consoles, they can hit the 4K 60. But when you add stuff in like ray tracing and things like that, something has to give for the gameplay experience to stay the same. This is probably why Control had a lot of issues, across every platform, consoles and PC, because the developers are running on this high-powered thing, but they still are bound by the limitations of the hardware they have to do. And also their testing environment is not the same as the other testing environment, which is the world market that plays these games and stuff like that. Everything has to be static. This is kind of why people complain about this stuff a lot. And it's a vicious cycle for the consoles because PS5 and Xbox Series X are coming out. These are monumental moves from the PS4 and the Xbox One. But at the same time, like they are a new leap in hardware, but at the same time, they come with their own limitations. And eventually, 2 or 3 years into the life cycle of these current consoles, they're going to need a refresh because technology is still moving at a different pace. So to keep gameplay from going stale for a lot of people, this is why we get updates to these consoles. And that's my egghead techie answer for you guys on that. But the rest of the panel have at it.
I got nothing. Because I think LeRon just said everything I could.
Maybe this is a preview for our PC show whenever we get that up and running. Maybe.
Yay!
All right. Actually, I'm looking at some of the stuff in the Twitch chat. Let's see. Frame rates will probably be swept under the rug most of the time. That is true because here's something crazy. When I talk to I have a lot of friends like I'm the PC gamer for my friends, and when I talk to a lot of my friends, they're console gamers. They honestly say they don't care about frames, and I look at them like, excuse me. I'm like, do you want? I loved Gears of War when it came out. I had a better experience playing on PC though than I did on the Xbox because of the simple fact that it felt like Phoenix was like running through mud with molasses in his boots. And it was just one of those things. Now I'm not saying that the PC experience made it better, but I mean because PC experience barely got it up to 60 frames, but it felt a little bit smoother and stuff like that. But frames are a big deal for me. And that's one of the things. Like I like feeling like it's moving realistically versus I'm running underwater, stuff like that. So that's just my thing. But it's a good comment that they made on the Twitch chat because frames will get swept under the rug because at the end of the day, everybody wants to just play the games and enjoy the experience. Like a lot of people don't get the same experience or that one from one player to the next. Like I like frames. Some people like the high glitzy graphics. And that's what ray tracing is going to offer. Some people, I think everybody absolutely detests load times, and those NVMe SSDs are going to make that a thing of the past. Like we're not going to think about that as much anymore.
Some people care about 360 audio.
So when you get the choice in between the games of like, I forget the exact terms, but like if you pick graphics or if you pick frame rate. Usually games give you that option now. What option do you usually go with? You rather play better or look better?
I'm a mixture of both. If I can kind of get both at the same time, this is kind of why I don't always play all my games on ultra settings. If I'm trying to impress somebody, yeah, I'll play on ultra settings. But I typically try to get a bit of both. So, for example, okay, so for all the games that can run 4K 60, but they may have the cap, of 30 frames based on how like the game is developed and how it's going to play out and stuff like that. If I can get the best experience possible, but maybe have to suffer, through the lower frames, I'm okay with it. But, it's all about having the choice. I'd rather have the choice of playing it the best way as possible. But I get it, though. Like, not everybody has that choice, I understand.
Frame versus resolution. That's what I was trying to think of. Someone said in the chat.
Frame versus resolution?
Yeah. Because I think like God of War asked you at the beginning of the game, which would you prefer? I think a lot of games, but I think God of War was the last game I played where they asked you that. And to me, it's always frames. I would rather the game be smooth than
for real.
Really look good, but doesn't move right. And that to me takes me out of the game aspect of it. And like you said, if I want to impress someone, put it on Ultra HD, sure,
exactly.
Cool. But other than that, if I'm playing it, I just want the game to work. I want the game to run perfectly, be smooth.
Yeah, in all seriousness, is why I couldn't go back to playing Monster Hunter World on PS4 after I started playing the PC, because my friends had me jump on it for a little while just to help them out with some stuff, and I was like, man, this is like you guys putting me, on the rack and just like trying to peel me apart. I can't go back to the console experience of Monster Hunter. It's just it is what it is. I'll play the Switch versions when they come out though, but it is what it is.
Oh, I can't wait for Monster Hunter Switch.
Rise, yes.
I haven't picked up my Switch in a long time, but Monster Hunter will get me to pick it up for sure.
Yep. So yeah, man, boy, Twitch chat is ablaze tonight. I love it. Like you guys are great out there. I appreciate the interaction you guys are doing tonight. Okay, so I guess it's time to wrap things up. We had a pretty good show. I thought we were going to be like, based off the topics when we planned all this stuff, I thought we were going to be on for more than 2 hours. But we're right there. All right, so.
To be fair, we did a 2-hour show complaining about how we couldn't pre-order the Xbox yet on Arsenal X. Our whole show was about freaking out about pre-ordering the damn box. So, I guess what I'm saying is way to stay on topic.
Hey, it wasn't the topic. Okay, I saw Logan with the Kleenex just now. I was like, oh no, please don't. It was something else. Though.
He ran out of lotion, so he has to use his tears later.
So basically, I need to buy stock in Johnson & Johnson this week, right?
Yeah, or Jergens, whichever.
Yeah,
I hate everyone and everything.
Oh, come on, man! You started this.
I know.
That's good. Collect those tears, Logan. You're gonna need them later.
Okay, so all right, so here's a wrap up, and basically,
at least Sony didn't come out and say, "Hey, we're not going to be like Xbox. We're going to give you a great pre-order," and then fail miserably.
Yes,
I had 0 issues pre-ordering my Xbox on Amazon today, so
you were one of the lucky few.
I know. To be fair, it was a nightmare on Target, though.
Yeah, that was my first nightmare with the PS4, but PS5. I'm sorry, but anyway, All right, so it's time to wrap things up. What's everybody been up to this week? Well, what have they been doing with their lives? What they've been playing? We always start with you, Nellie. So do your thing. Tell us what's up.
Homework. And Tomb Raider. That's all I'm doing right.
Okay. All right. Austin, how about you?
I've been playing a lot of Madden. Football season's here, so that's all I really think about at these times. I need to get back into the games. But around this time, this is usually where I just start watching football, and then I'll start watching movies instead. But I want to try to get back in the games. I tried Deus Ex Machina, or Deus, yeah. That I couldn't get into it. I just couldn't do it. It's not my. Once I learned it was a stealth game, I was like, "Oh nope, I'm out. I can't do stealth. I need full paced action. I can't can't do it. So, but yeah, I'm excited. I played Battletoads, beat that game. It was fun. It's easier than the old one, at least from what I can remember. Because
I was just about to ask you, did it crush your hopes and dreams?
Well, I mean, I played it when I was a kid, the old Battletoads, but I could never beat it. And me and my brother would just beat each other on the jet skis with sticks. Like that was the part we would always try to get to. But I did play the new Battletoads, and it was fine. It was a little corny to say the least, but it was a fun enough game that I enjoyed my time.
All right, Logan.
So I got a bone to pick with you and Ed. 2 weeks ago on the Boss Rush podcast, we talked about a little game called Tecmo Bowl. And I have been playing nothing but Retro Bowl.
You know what? I'm not gonna lie, I've been playing it too.
I have gotten through now 4 seasons in the last 2 weeks. I've taken. I didn't make it to the Retro Bowl or their version of the Super Bowl in one of the seasons, and that's because I was playing with Houston, which is weird. But yeah, I cannot stop playing.
Ed is laughing at us hardcore right now in the chat.
Ed, I blame you fully for that. And then of course I beat Avengers. I've been playing Tony Hawk, and then I am doing another playthrough. I'm starting it. I think Friday's kind of my goal. I'm going to be doing another run through of all of the Uncharted games. I'm going to be playing through the Uncharted collection and playing all through.
Nice.
Yep.
And realize that 3's better than 2.
Piece of shit.
Didn't we have to separate you guys last week? Didn't we have to separate you guys last week? Nellie, I remember separating these guys last week because of this, right?
I think we could all agree that.
I don't remember. I don't really remember.
Okay. So this past summer on LAN Party, we did top 100 video games of all time. And Uncharted 2 is a much better game than Uncharted 3.
Yeah.
Not even a question. And this
I don't know why. I don't know why you say that when Uncharted 2 didn't make my list, but Uncharted 3 did. So I don't.
Your list is where hopes and dreams go to die. It was
snap.
Yeah.
It was never mind. Can I make a political joke? Sorry. It's like Trump's list of nominees for Supreme Court. It's just garbage.
You're gonna find out. You're gonna find out when you replay through all of them.
I swear to God, this is the Mitt Romney of picks. Like Uncharted 3.
Oh my God. Here's what I will say about Uncharted 2 versus Uncharted 3. I loved Uncharted. Uncharted 2 scores higher, in my opinion, than Uncharted 3 does. Uncharted 3 has its good points. I love the story for Uncharted 3, but ultimately, if I'm gonna replay, if you threw the 2 games in front of me, I'm gonna replay Uncharted 2.
And it's that train battle scene, right? In 2 that is so freaking good. I mean, yeah.
Oscar,
okay.
Wait.
You can stay in the 1920s and ride your trains. I'm going to be doing cool fight scenes in planes. I'm living in the 21st century. Thank you.
Oh, you mean having the ultimate knife fight at the end of Uncharted 3?
You live in Oklahoma. You're stuck in the 1920s. I mean,
hey, we have a McDonald's.
It's okay. 1925. Okay, that's fair. I watched the documentary.
Yeah, it's there. We have tractors now.
Corey, you were kind of shadowing us tonight. Did you want to add to what you were doing this week and what you were playing?
What was I playing?
Were you just playing on your Switch?
No, I played a lot of Tetris. But I haven't really been playing a lot of games recently. Like I've been playing the Avengers, but I mean, it's fun to play for like 15 minutes until it crashes, and then you have to, restart it. Played some Tony Hawk, just stuff like that. I haven't really done anything new because, I mean, if you're watching on the Twitch chat, you've noticed that there's a new look to Crossroads as well as, all of our other shows. So that was kind of my project for the week was I wanted to give us a little refresh, I like to do that from time to time.
And the refresh is looking gorgeous.
By the way, Twitter consensus and group consensus, Crossroads background and podcast image is everyone's favorite by far.
Oh, we're the best. We're the best.
Best podcast, best group of people. I mean, is there anything we can't do?
You're welcome.
No, notice Corey can't stay away from us.
Best animated intro.
Corey's the best boss.
I just work here. I don't know. I tried. Sometimes you just get into those modes where you just like, man, games just like I don't feel like playing anything. Plus, like I've been thinking a lot about these new consoles, and I'm like, I kind of want to wait to play the games I want to play on these things. You know, like Destiny's kind of at a standstill, and I'm like, I don't know if I need to play it until the Series X comes out. You know, unless one of my friends messages me to play. Avengers, I'm sure will run 1,000 times better on that thing. You know, so I've just been playing smaller games. I have been playing the Super Mario 3D All-Stars collection.
Oh, nice.
But you know, it's good. I mean, it's those games again, just, you know, clean. So.
Yep. As far as I've been extremely butthurt the last week because of my woes and troubles with getting a PS5 and a 3080 card. So look what's been getting some love. Like the Nintendo Switch has been getting some love from me this past week. You know,
Catherine's a great game.
I ran to Best Buy trying to see if I could snatch up a 3080 that may have been on the shelf, and when my hopes and dreams got dashed over there, I was like, well, let me walk around and see if there's anything in the game section. And I saw Catherine. Catherine's on sale for $40, so it was $20 off that week. But I had $10 worth of Best Buy vouchers, so I got the game for half off essentially. And
nice.
and somebody felt sorry for me and blessed me with a copy of the Mario 3D collection. So I had a guardian angel this last week. But beyond that, I've also finally gotten back on the Mass Effect because my YouTube channel, I'm supposed to be doing like this Mass Effect replay, you know, in 4K. You know, I'm doing it before the remaster comes out. That's also should be a section of rumor control.
By the way, when you said somebody bless you with that copy of Mario 3D All-Stars, I could just feel Ed's head inflating.
I wasn't trying to say his name on
he's in the chat. He knows.
I know he's in the chat. I know he's in the chat.
Some motherfucker better mention my name.
Yep.
He knows.
All right. Well, but that's that's been our time. Shade. I love it. That's our time. But check it out. You know, you guys are great. Thanks for joining us tonight here on the stream. Before you go, just head over to bossrushgames.com and check us out. We have a serious lineup of different podcasts and shows for you to check out like that. Nellie, what's one of your favorite shows that's not Crossroads?
It's not Crossroads. Crossroads, of course.
Okay. She's gonna buy it. She's got a bias. Logan, what's one of your favorite shows that's not Crossroads?
Low key, I've been listening to Tower Casuals because I'm not a huge Destiny player, but like I picked it back up because of that show.
Austin, I know you're new here. Have you had a chance to check us out and check out?
I do like Arsenal X because I need a Xbox show. Because I guess I'm on a PlayStation show now. So I shouldn't say that I already had a PlayStation show that I listened to, but now I have an Xbox show to listen to. And yeah, I would say that. That's probably is it PAL Block?
No, that's Boss Man. That's Boss Man's favorite.
I need to check that out because I love Nintendo. Nintend's like the ex-girlfriend, though. You know, like I had a really good relationship with her, and now I really don't talk to her at all, and it's kind of awkward every time I do.
Did we date the same girl? I feel like we date the same girl.
Are you guys stalking her on Instagram? Is that what's happening?
Maybe.
I mean, yeah. I check the IGN every once in a while and see Mario jumping, and
maybe I might have told her in DMs that outfit she was wearing didn't look good.
Ooh.
I've seen the Luigi with titties picture. That
God.
Oh no!
There was a great episode of like 3 weeks ago where Ed runs through every independent game he's ever played.
I should just make a shirt that has the title of every single game he lists and then it goes onto the back. And I'm gonna make you wear that shirt next week.
Austin, not only did he list every single game, he listed in alphabetical order.
Did he have that list prepared, or did he have his library set up
on every game?
He was him and the rest of the panel were supposed to give anywhere from 3 to 5 games indie games that were like their recommendations for the audience, and man. He recommended the entire eShop.
He just went to the eShop and was like, "Hey, what's on sale this week?"
Yeah.
To be fair, he plays. He's probably played all those games he listed. Games. He's a machine, man. I gotta tell you, as much as we mess with him a lot, he's probably played 99.9% of the games he's listed on that show, and he has.
Ed.
Look, we only poke fun at Ed because we love him. He's the eccentric, passionate, heart of this team, and that's why we poke at him. We just like to.
I love it.
Poke.
Yeah.
Poke with their feet.
By the way, Corey and Ed both host the Nintendo Pal Block podcast. That is the OG podcast for Boss Rush games. But also it has I dare say it has the most personality besides the Crossroads podcast. I dare say that. One of my favorite podcasts is not Crossroads on here though. Is the book club, the video game book club. I love it. The two that I've seen have been great. It's the Tomb Raider one, and what was the one after Tomb Raider?
We've done, let's see, video game book club. We did Control, we did Tomb Raider, and then the last one was What Remains of Edith Finch, which is actually turning into its own once a month show called Walk the Talk, where Celeste, Ed, and our friends over at Retrovaniacs they're gonna review a walking simulator once a month. So
and the upcoming book club is Mass Effect, the original Mass Effect game.
Yeah. I love Mass Effect.
That's what I was thinking. Mass Effect.
Yeah.
So, I'll be part of that one. All right. So just head over to bossrushgames.com, take a look at the schedule, and plan out some stuff to check out or listen to. We love you and appreciate you for that. Before we go, does everybody just where can you find yourselves at? Nellie.
You can find me on Twitter at Planet Nellie. Nellie is spelled in 3 LLIE, and Twitch bratface_87.
All right, Austin.
You can find me on Twitter at PlayStation. It's basically PlayStation, except the Asian is Austin. You can also add me on PlayStation because I'm always looking for more friends to play with. Instagram, but I'll never use it. I use it once every 12 months. It's like a thing. So, and it's usually the worst picture possible. It's the worst picture you could think of most of the time.
Logan, where can we find you at?
Logan Quirkins on Twitter, and then Catch Land Party. Hey, Austin's wrestling pick of the week is back this week on Saturday on a brand new episode of Rope Talk. So check it out.
Yeah.
Right.
I was gonna tell you, I am. If you bet WWE, I am 100% correct all the time. So.
Wow.
All the time. I have never gotten one WWE fight wrong.
You've never gotten one right, I think is the correct term.
Man, I swear. Austin's
know
gonna catch you on the street.
No,
you that's not true.
I think you got a WrestleMania pick right.
I think
we haven't done this segment. We haven't done this segment like most of the summer. And yeah, we're bringing it back, and I cannot wait.
You understand that I'm always picking the right ones, but every once in a while, I like to tell Vince McMahon myself, be like, "Hey, man, just so I don't look like a total genius, fix this match for me real quick. Me and Vince are like that.
Corey, where can we find you?
You can find me at I am Corey NHT on Twitter and Instagram, and a lot of other things that we do here. I'm there, probably.
All right. And of course, you can find me at EXODUS803, Exodus803 on various social medias, as well as my Twitch channel. And some of you lucky people actually got a link to my YouTube channel last week. So yeah, that's where you can find me at. This has been a great night for you guys, for us as well. Hope you guys stay safe out there. I'm gonna do my outro like I usually do. Wear a mask, wash your hands, be nice to everybody, and that's our show for tonight. Everyone, have a good night.